And welcome back. We are once again in a game 3 where FPX have to hold on to that first place position because TOP is coming. They took the win in game 2 and are ready for game 3. So Clement, run it back me. How did it happen? How did they get that game in the previous one? You wanted to tell your story time. Was it related?
All right. It's actually not related. It's just for
God.
Olaf. So
All right,
this is. Do you want me to go with my story?
Yes,
I'll
go
with
for
the
it.
story.
Go
Okay,
for it.
so
We have a lot of time to talk about the game.
They asked Clid in the LCK,
Yes.
previously from JD Gaming, why did you start building Redemption on Olaf? And he said he copied it from Tarzan.
Oh.
So they asked Tarzan, where did you get this Redemption build? And Tarzan said, I got it from SOFM.
What?
And SOFM, they asked him, like, why do you build this? And he says, it's busted. And that's all.
Right,
But I will reveal the trade secrets now.
What is the trade secret?
So Redemption actually increases its healing based on your extra healing potential.
Yep.
And Olaf on Vicious Strikes actually increases the Redemption healing. It's one of the most busted mechanics you'll find in the game because it's an AoE healing and it's percentage-wise. And even on level 1, it knocks it up by the passive is the lower HP you are, the more healing you get, and you can transfer that into Redemption. So it's absolutely insane in team fights. We actually saw that during the mid-fight siege. The Redemption coming down, and you're like, wait a minute, how this doesn't make any sense. How is everyone healing that much? That's because Vicious Strike.
There's a lot that you can get off that too. That's actually a real fun, tidbit of knowledge on Vicious Strike, being able to boost up your healing. On top of that, the stats that you already get from it are pretty comparable to what you would ordinarily get. And then on top of that, it's just a cheap item.
It is. It's only 2,000, I think 100 at most.
The fact that you can come onto the map early with an early redemption and be able to just combat, like a lot of the times, especially in the LPL, you're seeing a lot of skirmishes here. So you bring in like multiple members, support comes in, joins the fight, and then you move past that point where redemption is obviously helping your team in that venture. And then you try and siege, boost up the healing of, if your cannon minion's getting smacked down by the turret, there's just so much that you can do. There's a lot of creativity along redemption, so the fact that you can pick it up on your jungler there, nice.
It is super nice. I've tested this in the custom games, and it's actually really, really insane about how much HP you can get just off the redemption.
Yep.
It's like 1 level redemption, you get like plus 300 HP just off that with Vicious Strikes open as well. So
that being
said, try it. Really busted. I don't think it's going to be in the game for much longer.
That being said, regardless of that guy lost the game.
Yes, he did.
Because even though he was going 2v1 in the mid lane, guess who fought him back?
It was XX and Knight.
And guess who's going to get that MVP? You know, I'm not even going to let you guess that one. That's going to be Knight. So congratulations to Knight picking up MVP right there. When you go up 2v1 and you get that 31% damage percentage, there's only one man that could do it. Guess who's holding that up with his left hand? That's right, it's Knight.
I love how his finger just kind of mimics that. 30? No. 31.
There's only one.
A lot of great plays from Knight this game. The early tower dive where he took aggro, knows that the vanish mechanic on LeBlanc is going to drop his tower aggro, and then the 2 picks on GimGoon to really finish the game off. So well done from Knight. A lot of good knowledge on him. Yeah,
I think the lane assignments afterwards too were good. Especially I think the one that I challenged where he was bottom side holding the Yorick. I was like, all right, maybe like you're needed in the play.
Yep.
You're the one who's far ahead. The team fights around you, especially at that spike. And I was like, I know holding your strongest weapon to deal with what is the enemy team's only win condition at that stage of the game. That's dicey. They played it out well. Got the Baron buff. Came out hot. Now, TOP rolling into Game 3 with momentum. This is when you start talking about team feelings. You know, the topic that no one ends. They want to talk hard math, statistics, like science behind the game. But FPX don't find themselves in a deficit oftentimes, and it's only this week when they're going up against IG, RNG, and now dealing with TOP. Once again, find themselves pushed into a Game 3.
Honestly, it's a testament to how good FPX have been this split. Only IG, only the likes of TOP and RNG are able to push them into a Game 3. And there are so many stakes right here. We're talking about the potential head-to-head going to one of these teams, which have very similar schedules going forward as well. The only tough opponents they have to face further on are EDG and BLG. The rest of them, they should be able to take. So this single match really decides the seeding.
Number 1. That's what they want.
Yes.
You have 2 weeks left in the regular season. Same opponents that you're going up, and you want to make it easier going to week 8, week 9, and you get to call yourself the best team in the LPL if you look at that stat sheet, that standings. It's insane to say that TOP, this stage, are going to be taking it away from RNG, IG, now in this case FPX, who's been at the top part of that standing all split long.
And it's going to be really interesting because if TOP win here today, we could get a potential three-way tie between RNG, FPX, and TOP. Now, we only play one round robin, so there are no two-team tiebreakers. But 3 teams, bring it on.
Oh, no. That's when all the statisticians of the LPL just go mad because there is no such thing as a tiebreaker here. That's when you just start putting on the math. All right, who's got more points? Who's got the head-to-head? And by the way, that's what TOP wants.
Yes.
They want that head-to-head because if it gets to week 10 and that conversation starts, they're coming out ahead. So that's game 3 for you. This is when we're getting right into it. Pick and ban for game 3 of FPX versus TOP.
So TOP go back onto the red side. For every single team that we've seen so far in this series, the one with the side selection has gone towards red. And I really want to see how TOP use it. I feel like 369 hasn't been given a good chance to really carry yet, so I do want to see what he can do.
I'm a little bit worried here because FPX, when they are on blue side, they benefit the most out of it. They have a lot of champions that they can actually move between mid and top lane. Now, they lost Urgot and debatably Aatrox. So Doinb's champions are going to be a little bit more obvious on which lane it's going, but you still have Rise, which GimGoon can play. You still have Kled that teams are starting to forget about. But let's just go straight to the bans. Lissandra, Rise, and Rek'Sai banned by TOP, and FPX banning away Zoe. LeBlanc and Jarvan are going to lock in the Jayce.
Big things to note right here. Jayce and Lucian both open. Those are your pretty much top 2 priority picks, and LokeN, he's just going to say, hey, give me a refill. I'm going to pick the strongest bot lane AD carry at the lane.
And that's what you got to see a lot. You get to really see the Lucian and the Jayce banned out, I feel like. In red side, you get to see that happen. This time around, you already mentioned that Lucian is wide open. Do you think that LWX will go for the pick again, knowing that he's going to be dealing with that Kalista bottom lane?
So it's pretty interesting. This is testing out the champion pools from the marksman position. Does LWX now have an answer to the Kalista? Does he have the Tristana, for instance?
That's true.
Does he have the Varus that's recently been buffed quite a bit through a bug fix? The W was doing half the intended damage, so, you know, spaghetti code here and there.
There we go. But he's already hovering over the pick. I know you talked about the Tristana. I really would have loved that here because the Alistar was still available. Alistar-Tristana is such a devastating duo, but we're early on in 9.4, and we'll still see it go on going forward in the next few weeks. So you're already seeing the hover on the Irelia. Did get a few changes here in 9.3 going into 9.4 and gets locked in here.
So Irelia a lot of times can now go top lanes. The changes to her has been made to make her more of a sustained damage dealer.
Yes.
More HP, more armor. Can actually face well against the Jayce. Sure, you're still going to have the hard early levels, but level 6 and beyond, it's actually quite an easy matchup to just go all in on the Jayce. So potentially this is something that could go to 369. 369 does play a lot of these top lane bruisers as well. Interesting flex coming in from TOP.
Going to be hard going into the Elise, though, because one of the changes in 9.3 was the Defiant Dance. Even though it got buffed from 40% to 50% damage reduction, it's only on AD. So AP goes straight through it, and that's going to be a lot of AP damage that now going into the second phase, FPX can start picking for. They still have their supposed mid laner here. Doinb can go towards an AP option, and you have Elise on the map.
And it does seem like in the bot side for TOP, they're going to force the support pool from Crisp. He's pretty much down to Galio and Braum if he wants to go for tanky champions, that is. I don't think there's another tanky option in the list at this point.
Already going through the options. Remember, Thresh and Alistar. He is an amazing Alistar player, and his game 1 Thresh was ridiculous. So
yes.
Crisp has been playing well this series long, and he's already lost his 2 best champions. We'll see what he ends up going in the second phase. No Galio evolved, but he's hovering it. Look, you got to start hovering these champions. I expect the Braum a little bit more. Lucian Braum is devastating to go up against, and Galio's had a lot of problems dealing with that one. One thing that I would love to say going into the future, I know that Braum's going to be the lock-in, but I think Trundle support may come back. Just throwing that out there. We have Zoe, Jayce. You already have a good enough poke compositions coming through with Ezreal, and having the Trundle pillar is always just so nice. You got a little bit of a a push with a buff, but that's for the future. You guys know what my stand on is. Talking about Urgot, he got a huge nerf, so cooldown mana on W and Q and your W massively nerfed. The shield that you had. He is right now widely regarded as one of the worst champions, but seems like Doinb or GimGoon are get their hands on him.
He's still playable in a lot of situations, but I would say not really as a... I don't think his mid lane strength is really there anymore. For a lot of issues that does revolve around him is that Riot is forcing you to pick your poison between Q and W. You're not going to get both. You're not going to get the constant shielding, the push potential from the W if you don't max it, and also the Q spam has been pushed down quite a bit. It's very, very mana intensive a lot of the times. So I feel like his mid lane was actually hit even more than his top lane was hit. The mid lane requires even more shove from that position. So I'm quite curious how he can actually make this Urgot work. It seems like Doinb's confident. He's a top laner at heart. He's saying, you know what, it's fine. I'll roll with the nerfs. But this is going to be one of those first Urgot mids we actually see on 9.4.
And we're going to see an Irelia top lane. Remember, that's a Corki going in the mid lane for Knight. So Corki there. Knight gets the champion that he really made a name on. Both Echo, Corki, and in the early on in his career had a few fizz picks. So we get to see him on Corki, 9.4. This will be fun. A lot of new matchups, a lot of new champions in a game 3 that will decide the head-to-head between both these teams and decides who ends up going into week 8 as the best team in the LPL. A lot on the line here.
FPX has to strike first with their composition. Elise, a very powerful champion, but once again, you do have to snowball with it. And if you look at the top side, the Jayce versus the Irelia matchup, post 6th, that could go very, very wrong. So I do expect a lot of attention and a lot to be decided between GimGoon and 369.
We don't get a lot of Elises here, but when it comes down to it, the comps are really stationed around her pick potential. Just take a look and, cocoon somebody and try and burst them down. That's why I think the Urgot pick here, as we already see it on the screen for Doinb, has an option. I think that past laning phase, you'll get past laning phase fine, easily. You'll even get some blue buffs with the mana nerfs that he received. But burst someone down. You have a lot of ulti targets, and you have 4 ranged champions on your team. FPX are going to be trying to look for it. They can just stomp TOP away, and it seems like week 8's looking just fine for them. So we'll get right into it. Game 3, TOP, FPX. Going to come right in before the LGD fans come in. Stop it. At least they have fans outside. Remember, Hangzhou's fairly close. Maybe they make the the travel.
Could be.
They train ride it over here just so they can make their mark.
I just want to note that's actually Doinb's wife leading the FPX chants.
Mm-hmm.
She's the leader of the Doinb fan club. So if you want to find a partner in life, you want to go for that type.
That's true. That's true. You always want somebody. It's always difficult. All right, come to every one of my games, lead the chants. Probably gonna, ruin your voice on that one.
Probably.
But already taking a look at the rune pages, nothing really surprising here. The usual Predator on the Gragas jungle. I expect him to have a full clear. He's already used bot side, so maybe he does end up top side anyways. But get that base, want to be able to get boots, and look to be on the map early. 2 AP junglers. You don't get a lot of games where that's the case.
And we can see to start off, we did get a leash on Tian's side, so that's going to help accelerate his path towards the top side of the jungle, if he so chooses so.
Top lane is such a tumultuous area right now. You don't get to see a lot of Irelia versus Jayce matchups, for good reason. And one person falls behind, and the world starts to fall. That's why right now both Tian and XX, they have to be on the top side of the map. I think XX gets the better of it as he's already on Scuttle, but Knight, hey, get out of here.
He's going to get hit super hard in
this
trade.
The scuttle fights are what I love, but you already see XX was not a part of it. XX had been there, I think that would have been considerable damage on Tian, but was just focused on farming up his Raptors.
Yeah, good trade by Knight to actually push the wave out like that. I want to see what he actually took for level 1. Usually we don't see the Corkis get to push that early on. But it could also just be a tactic from Doinb, put some of that ganking threat onto him.
It's always the struggle of being an Urgot, because Urgot's generally push no matter what. The passive's there for him. On top of that, if you want to trade with your Q, then guess what? You're hitting a few minions at the same time. So you're right. Either that, you know, Knight made it a priority to shove the wave, or it's Doinb trying to conserve mana in what should be a pretty difficult matchup as the lane goes on.
I really want to see how this Urgot plays out with consecutive nerfs. Armor is taken down, mana costs up across the board, Purge cooldown also getting up as well. But for now, let's watch the top lane.
Number 4 in jungle top lane proximity. He's always been there for 369, and just going straight through the lane. Tian is there as well. Who will get the first punch? Tian is looking, but 369 right in the bush. Yep, Tian calls it. He's like, all right, that's a bit too suspicious for my liking. Why would he go into the middle bush?
Yeah, like, I'll be honest, 369, rookie player, but that acting was pretty bad.
Yeah, you need to make it a little bit more realistic there.
You need to walk towards the top rush.
Yes,
let's just make it that simple. You're not going to get an Oscar for that.
Yes, definitely a little weird there. But still, wonderful timing from XX to be in position. Oh, and he's going to be the one who faced a little bit of damage there as Tian is in the area. Look, this is the difficulty when you're dealing with a top lane Jayce versus literally anybody. Fiora, any carry top laner, but in this case it's going to be Irelia, where it's just going to be jungle sticking around, helping them as much as possible.
And we've seen Tian do this over and over again. I remember the series where FPX played Suning. Xiao was ganked 5 times before 15 minutes just to make sure his life was miserable. And once again, Elise, this champion, is the best tower diver you can possibly play. You know, you go Renekton Elise, you go Jayce Elise. It's so easy to burst someone down underneath tower and just get away because you have that tower aggro reset as well.
She has everything you need if you were able to get the pressure under tower. You're right about the burst, CC, like literally everything you named is what all junglers want in a champion.
That's the 3 best things you want for tower dives. You want burst, execute damage, you want crowd control, and you want abilities to drop tower aggro. And Elise has all of that. That's why she's the best top lane diver there is, and you actually do see a lot of teams prior in the LPL do play for this strategy. If you like, Flash Wolves used to say, if you give a team Renekton, Twisted Fate, and Elise, you just lose. Like there's actually nothing you can do.
And the equivalent exchange is there, though. When you get later on in the game where, you know, teams are setting up for major objectives, and at that point, all Tian can really provide is Cocoon, maybe a little bit of damage, but teamfight potential is definitely in favor of Gragas. He's going to have to deal with the early pressure as Doinb just goes face first into the bush. Just trying to track down XX. Says, hey, Tian, you're not getting in there? I'll do it for you. Where is he?
Oh, that's just the power of the execute. We've seen this so many times. If that Cocoon lands, 369's a gunner.
Level 6 on Doinb, so the wave is taking a little bit of a while. When do they get impatient? They just gotta go? No, they got the minion wave coming right up. And there's nothing XX can do about it. He's already powered up his boots. He's got his Nikes on. All right, there we go. They already got the Cocoon. He's already dead. Goodbye. Au revoir. What the hell?
That was a little too easy. Anticlimactic.
XX was setting up for it, was powering up his boots, getting up fast just so he can come in for the counter gank, but you're right. I mean, that's one of the problems with Irelia. Couldn't really deal with the damage there. Now XX is going to be the primary target. One more auto attack to follow through. There it is. Laces up nicely, and that's XX going down. Guess who teleported under the tower again? All right, they're not going to try for another one, but if it was Invictus Game, you better believe they were going to dive that one again.
Oh, yeah, I definitely believe you, but 369 didn't actually use the Vanguard's Edge, still has his flash up. FPX think better about it, but they got every single thing they were looking for. That kill onto Jayce is going to be massive. The top lane matchup, trust me, is 100% in Jayce's favor now.
Yeah, the only thing I was ever concerned about, Irelia gets the lead there. You think about the Ninja Tabby she can pick up, the HP alongside Trinity Force. You're like, oh, how do I do damage anymore? But now he's already got serrated Dirks. He's definitely ahead of the matchup here. Just take a look at the CS difference between the two top laners.
Oh, that's absolutely massive. Hey, you know what I just figured out talking about Flash Wolves? Warhorse was the Flash Wolves coach.
Yep.
So I guess he just built his strategies, took his strategies around. I was like, I think I've seen this somewhere.
Let me ship a very successful strategy in the LMS and see if I can get a chance of here in the FPX. So, yep. Maple may not be doing well, but the champion or at least playstyle that was working well for him is in good hands.
Yeah, it's also really hard to deny the extra roam from Urgot's early on. Minion dematerializer with that spellbook. He gets an extra summoner to pressure the lane as well.
Oh, this is a huge wave. Excellently timed by XX to just push Crisp and LWX away from the turret. Are they going to lose the entire wave off that?
They might. They're at least going to lose that second minion, tower plating.
You can already see Elise starting to move towards the red side jungle, doesn't have eyes on where Corki is. Thankfully, with Crisp walking right back in, can pick up a little bit of it. So that's, once again, a hard lane here for LWX. LokeN's owning it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he went in to the same matchup willingly. Remember, this Lucian was a counter pick. They selected it themselves. It doesn't do well against the Kalista.
Nikes are online. LWX and Crisp got to get up out of there. Here comes the taunt immediately on towards
well
the support.
dodged.
Crisp flashes it.
Oh,
nice blue suede shoes.
Yeah, that was really cool.
All right, we're going to have to see if 369 can pull the same gimmick, but you see him, man. There's no way you're getting caught by that. Come on now. What the hell? How do you still get caught by that?
I gotta say, Tian's actually playing magnificently on this Elise.
Yep.
He also caught him out the first time. He knew he was going to Blade Surge to that minion, catches him right in his tracks, and takes him down. So it's gonna be a trade about who gets the first brick, and it does look like TOP have the upper hand in this.
Less resistance is top lane because the bulwark is only working off 2 people, but it doesn't matter. Extra wave there for TOP as well. They were already going to town on the turret. Wonder if 369. Look, 369. You've not been having a good game. You might want to give this one away. Can GimGoon get, even though it wasn't the first tower, is still solo turret gold here for GimGoon. All right, just hit it already.
Now he's gonna deny as much as possible. That's the GimGoon way.
460 gold there for GimGoon.
Already fed on the Jayce. This is FPX strategy working really well. We were asking, is Elise going to be able to snowball earlier on or be bust? I think the answer is very clear at this point. However, TOP do have a couple of outs. Once again, they have tremendous catch potential. And
going straight for him. Lucian's going to have to deal with it, though he had used his cleanse. He still has his flash, but he's dealing with nearly the entire TOP front. Yeah, there's no, who is he going to take? All right. Knight ends up picking up the kill. I just didn't see any of that. FPX don't even have enough members here to fully take down that mid lane turret, but might be able to get some turret plating. That's one.
This is a huge win for FPX. Definitely overcommitted on TOP's side. They send 4-man towards the bot side, and that's a demolish support in mid, and also a Herald being given over. So LWX, well done. You
FPX
are a trooper.
Splitting their resources successfully. Not only were they chipping at that mid lane turret and top lane inner, also picked up the Rift Herald at the same time. Tian might be able to use that, and the lovely thing about Rift Herald pushes, it doesn't even have to take the turret kill. As long as, you know, the turret platings are still up, you net yourself a pretty penny, 320 gold per 1 Rift Herald push.
Yeah, actually I'm a little bit surprised that the gold lead isn't larger for FPX, but it should balloon shortly after this. The Herald is going to make a large difference in it. I will say that this is a very all-in strategy from FPX. You look across the board, it's full 80 damage, it's Elise in the composition, it's snowball, do or die. I really like watching these comps because you have to play them so cleanly to really find success. And FPX is one of those teams that could realistically do it.
They're a scrappy one. They're a team that will continue to look for it, even if it gets to a point where potentially you'll deal with the outscaling nature of a Corki. Only worry here is that you're right, there's a lot of AD elements on FPX, but one TOP other than, let's say, a Fiora and the Galio that's going to itemize towards it. That likely is going to be a full AP Gragas that they're going to be going into it. So I wonder how this late game is going to work for FPX with the team comp that they have for themselves.
I love me some AP Gragas. Against this composition where it's Lucian, Elise, and Jayce, you want to push your luck a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
You get an alley-oop somewhere, it's pretty easy to knock targets off. So FPX, I want to see how they force the situation into even numbers and close fights. Because if TOP get the fights they want, I actually do expect them to come out ahead.
It seems like 369's in a really difficult position. We'll see if he gets the stun. He missed the stun. He uses his ultimate, but he's just done. I don't know what else to say, man. A really poor 1v1 that came out there by 369. He's been behind, and he was forced to really take that fight because his minion wave was that far out away from his tower.
Yeah, I really want to see how GimGoon got that fight to go to start. I'm guessing it was probably a brush ambush.
Yeah, probably, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we didn't get to see the actual start of the fight there.
All right, it seems like FPX are going to be making the charge from the mid lane. They've certainly made it obvious, but calling out 369, saying he's already dead. What are you going to do to stop us? I don't care if you're slow, Shelly. We're pushing on this one. We're going to be taking that 300 gold. I wonder if they go solo here, too. Are they going to put it on LWX? I don't even think they have the liberty to.
That was really well done by XX.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I got the gold. It went on LWX. I don't think it went on anyone else. There's a lot of gold going on at the AD carry. And if we're just talking about why the gold lead hasn't ballooned for FPX, it's just been the CS advantages that TOP's been getting in both mid and bottom lane. So their major carries are picking up the gold. It's just going to take some time before Corki feels comfortable to put himself, park himself on that side lane.
Well, it's a little unfortunate for FPX. They would have preferred an Infernal or a Mountain just to make use of Urgot's power before Knight gets his Triforce. They're not going to actually get that favorable Drake.
Yeah.
However, this time is still a time where they can freely snowball on the map. I don't think TLP really wants to contest at this point. You can see the cull being selected by Knight. So he's looking to scale a little bit more. They're not really looking for the fights. They're saying, hey, FPX, you know what? Take what you want for now. We'll get you back later.
Cole is almost going to be completely benefit. You see Doinb just about to pick up 3 minions. 2, 1. All right, he's got the 360 gold. So Doinb just completely cashed in on his call, which is going to be nice. It's going to take a little bit before Knight's going to be able to benefit. But once again, if you saw CA's Corki game, you know how much CS and priority he's going to really put in terms of just farming it up. Surprised he's mid lane, but he's already got the package, and he's looking to try and just brute force this mid lane tower.
I think I finally understand the support bans from BSYY. He actually left the Braum open intentionally, taking away instead the engage options from FPX. And you can see in that siege trade, FPX don't really have a reliable way to trade damage back. They're relying on the cocoon, but that's very difficult to land, especially from range. Not the fastest projectile, and TOP are doing a good job on hanging on to vision on both sides of the river. So it's pretty smart strategy by TOP. They could realistically just draw the game out by continuously grouping up and setting up these sieges, and it's going to be up to FPX to use that side lane advantage to deny it.
It's really interesting whenever you see a Braum on the map, right? Because when a team picks up Braum, a lot of the times, especially if you have dual AD threats like range carries like Urgot, Lucian, and Jayce that can really proc the passive that he has, you're like, that's just wonderful for just a front-to-back composition. And look how much damage he can block consistently. Like, if there's ever a Gragas, throw in that cask, throw up the wall, and you can block that and help your team. But it does, as you said, like, throw away a lot of the engage opportunities that you have. Suddenly you're looking towards jungle and top lane to be your engage threats, and obviously FPX didn't want that to be the case, so they are making it very difficult for themselves with the lead that they have, I will add, to be able to snowball that lead. LokeN took a little bit of damage, and now mid lane's going to be that priority. TOP going right in for it. There's going to be a fight. GimGoon takes a lot of damage, especially from the tower. He seems like he's going to be the one to die. He dies immediately.
369 gets reset.
369 right behind him. And guess who is behind enemy lines? It's Doinb. Complete wipe. It's only LWX on the map now.
Ooh, that was an absolutely massive blow to FPX. Just a little too caught out. Ben actually was not thrown in by the Fates call. I don't think he actually was. Just a simple flash in and gets GimGoon straight in his tracks, and FPX, we were talking about this. They actually need to find opportunities to set up their siege and cash in on their early game advantages. But at the same time, TOP have the chase down potential. They have the Irelia coming in from the sides. They have the Pokeball combination. Just to take a look at how this all started, it was not the Fate's Call being thrown. It was actually just Ben charging in full vision of FPX, and FPX reacting a little too slow. 369 comes in and gets a lot of those easy cleanups.
Double taunt from him was so well played from him. And in the follow-up, they knew that the Ignite was ticking and that you could just throw the Gragas cask at Jayce to get the kill. Really difficult for FPX, who are trying to force the topic.
I'm actually a little bewildered that XX managed to get away from that without taking any damage. It was quite funny. Just, hi Doinb.
Hey.
Excuse me.
I'll be on my way now. We're back on the map, and officially Knight is now side lane.
Yeah.
So he's nearing the 200 CS mark at 18 minutes. That's just how it typically goes for a Corki player and our mid laners. Trinity Force already getting to that stage. And now at this point, I mean, would you go Rapid Fire Cannon or Infinity Edge immediately afterwards? This is the question about having that extra range and that little bit of Kershay's damage versus just the brute force AD that you get from the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, with how strong IE is right now, I would definitely go IE first. So just to give a little bit of background information, what the changes for Marksman were to flatten out the power spikes. They didn't want the third power spike to be that powerful and that important for AD carries, but they wanted the first item spike to at least be somewhat useful. So in terms of the Infinity Edge, a lot more base stats, but a lot weaker in terms of the unique passive. It now only does 25% extra damage on crit, opposed to 50% compared to pre 8.11. So that were the changes, and what that really means is that it's much better to go first item IE than it ever was in the item's history.
Yeah, finally has crit back in it too, so there is a benefit to the unique passive early on. That's nice to see, and it's a lot less troll to have Infinity Edge first as a Corki. Talking to Icon, building that.
We're never going to let that go, by the way.
Never, absolutely not. That's my job. so GimGoon and Tian going to town on this bottom lane tower. There's nothing 369 can do about it, and the rest of the map is just TOP topside.
I love that play. That's such a cheeky play. One thing about Elise that people never really realize is how much tower damage the Spiderlings actually do. The Spiderlings are insane in terms of the tower damage.
Yes.
Especially if you get a sorcery potion as well, because every damage tick now does true damage, and it actually works on Spiderlings.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
the possibilities.
You can actually earn the sorcery cult back quite fast if you time your situations correctly.
Corki's going back to base. I wonder if he can just pick it up outright. His Infinity Edge. There we go. Gets his IE. And already just looking to, I like the sell here. I think he's going to, no, he's not going to get the control ward. I'm sad. I'm just asking for you to go control, especially if we're going to be on a side lane. But I guess he's just going straight through mid, so all you need is the mid lane push. So that's fine if his job is just half mid push. But hey, this is where it gets really dicey for a team. They have to deal with a Corki mid, a lot of damage underneath them, constantly just chucking missiles at you. And now they have the priority over the next dragon.
The problem for FPX right now is it's very difficult to envision a fight that they actually want to take. You look at their composition, they don't have the best engage. Any engage from them is going to be super telegraphed. And if TOP can find the flank, they'll just wipe the floor with FPX.
Right,
so
the pick is the bush.
Yeah, I guess that's the only option they have.
That's literally it. Or, you can use the coveted Braum flash ultimate that we hate to see. That's the forced, hey man, I have no other engage on my team composition. This is all I got type of engage.
You know how long it actually takes for Braum to hit the floor? It's like a millennium. Like he's stretching his arms out.
It's quite the stretch.
Slow-mo.
For a champion that's that buff and willing to show the pecs, it takes a long time for him to bring the door down. So that being said, vision control completely there for TOP in the top side of the map. So while they've been slowing the game pace down and making it difficult for FPX to ever get that pick, top lane is getting pushed out. I want to see what Corki's doing. If he pushes out this next wave, it gives the go signal for FPX to look for this mid lane tower. They see him on the wave, I think. Yeah, they have a ping on him. They see him. They're going to go for it.
That's the catch they're looking for.
All right, immediately on it. Ben's going to take a lot of damage, but of course gets whisked away by LokeN in his ultimate. No wave here, so good job on TOP to completely eliminate the wave and buy for time.
We actually see this so often from TOP. It's quite an interesting dynamic that the entire team is willing to wait.
Oh no. Oh, 369. I guess he gets the ultimate from Ben. GimGoon doing a good job. He's just baiting that ulti. He's like, all right, I'm just going to jump on top of you, make you feel scared, call for your support, and then I'm just peacing out.
Yeah, definitely very well done from GimGoon's part to burn that. Just going back a little.
All right, give it to me.
All right, sorry. Like, it's really interesting to see how much TOP are willing to sacrifice just to make sure Knight gets farm. Like, I want to see if Knight actually ends up on a power spike or not. Like, if he goes back and buys, like, double short swords, and just like,
double long sword, this is what I was waiting for.
Thank you for your sacrifice. I got my item, boys. It's like,
if I get that last hit on a champion, I can thank you for that one, for buying enough time. He's back on the sideline. So, but this is the thing, right? This is that game you're playing. TOP technically has all the control in the world. Triple Dragon, double Ocean Dragon, have the pressure when their champions are back on the map. But your power point right now is all on Knight. And he's also constantly looking towards a rapid fire cannon. If he's just short of it, you have to be able to buy time for him. Oh, speaking of buying time. Oh, they knew it was there. Thank God. Oh my goodness. If he had just walked into the bush at the same time, would have been sad. But they're going for the red buff steal. I don't think it's going to be the case. It's actually walking straight towards Papa, which is TOP. All right, they're going to be able to pick it on Knight. Knight's going to feel pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, it was a dicey situation from both teams right there. XX very easy to take down. He still has his perfect timing on him. But still, this is the win condition for FPX. They want that single snipe.
Yep.
It's going to come down to Tian. We really want to see the flash on Tian. We've seen this from, Griffin versus SKT. Flash Cocoon can change the game. You never know. I wouldn't bet on it.
Anything can happen.
But if they're going to win, that's how it's going to happen.
That being said, now that we've moved past the red buff custody battle, not custodian battle, that could be funny too, actually. I'd like to see a YouTube video of that. It's going to be around Baron buff. You could already see Jayce going to work in the minion wave bot side. No teleport advantage, so both of them have that pressure, but it's going to be 369 trying to hold his own here. Oh, in fact, doing much better than that. GimGoon, defend yourself. He's on out of here. He's going to have to rush. He has the movement speed boost. But he's just chased him down. What the hell? Flash on top of him, and he gets the solo kill. Behind all game long, and 369 bounces back.
Even as a teleport as well. So TOP, they're looking to fish for that 5v4. They're going to force FPX to come into this fight.
Teleport being used by 369. You're on your own there, Doinb, for just a little while longer. Dies for his fight. Take a look at Knight. Fairly low in HP. In fact, gets
down.
Isolated. Tian gets the assassination. Most bang for your buck, but that's two people getting taunted up. Galio getting a lot of work down. Now Crisp is the next target. Huge win there by FPX.
And that was the most valuable solo kill that we've seen, I think, in the entire spring split of the LPL. You get that solo kill on the side lane, instant teleport, 5v4, forces FPX to come into the battle. But Tian by himself, with so many low health targets, actually able to force the rest of TOP to back off.
Yeah, they also didn't know, I think they had a good idea that GimGoon wasn't going to be there. So the fact that FPX were able to push them off alone with just Elise damage, I guess. It's pretty insane. I guess teleporter too, actually.
Yeah.
Ward would have been put down, teleport there from Jayce. That's a lot to be afraid of. I can respect that. So resetting the map, TOP, already got a lot of good work done.
This is TOP saying that, hey, you know what? We have the scaling advantage. We're going to play this safe. We're not going to bet it on a 50-50 Baron. And this is a game that I feel like a lot of teams in the world should watch, like V5.
We always talk about globally and then isolate it to Victory 5, but you're right. They better watch this one. Knight ducks and dodge. I don't think this is a good call. He has package. He literally can get out of anything for free. Oh, but he didn't use it. That's really well done. He couldn't catch it because it went right through the terrain, so didn't see the cocoon coming at him.
And the play that I've been talking about for Knight, where he 1v3s in a side lane versus on the Corki, actually happened against Rogue Warriors. So they definitely remember that play.
Really close to getting the taunt on LWX. Doesn't really nail down enough damage on Ben to really flinch. But that just means that FPX get completely pushed out of that area. Now, vision control is there for TOP. They're going to look to set this one up. Hands up. It's
Oh,
going to
they
be
get
Doinb.
Doinb.
Get the pick, but he's out of there for free. Flash and cleanse up on out of there. It's going to be a re-engage. XX takes so much damage, but he stopwatches. They're going to go straight towards LokeN, but he gets stopwatching too. No, he's just going to go straight in, but he gets eliminated. FPX are a little bit surrounded. They're going to go punch right forward, maybe get the kill on XX, but they come right back at him. In fact, there goes Jayce. Completely taken away. FPX lose out in the battle.
It looked so good for a moment. There was a gleaming moment of hope for FPX. They actually found the poke onto the Gragas. It looked like they were going to take targets down, but 369, he's too big to deal with.
Doinb and Tian, the only members are on the map that really matter here for FPX. They're going to try and stop them. Doinb doesn't have enough mana. It doesn't even matter that he doesn't have ultimate. The Q just takes way too much mana to be fair, so he's really just working on his passive. Fully up and available, but Knight is trying to just force Tian up out of there. One more auto attack and Tian is dead, but they're just going to turn straight on towards Doinb. He already has the Baron buff. That's Baron buff, that's the extra kill, and that's TOP feeling real good about their chances here.
That team fight was beautiful to watch. 369 dancing around the back line, and he somehow finds LWX throughout all of that. It was a great catch to start from XX. He actually stops the disdain. That's really rare to watch that, but a beautiful play nonetheless. You can see XX being targeted by LWX, but he goes too far forward, lands face first into Ben, then into the Vanguard's edge, and 369 takes an easy kill from him. A little bit unfortunate positioning, but that's all it took for TOP to completely take the fight away.
Really unfortunate, specifically for GimGoon, because he tried to get the kill on top of Gragas, and then he stopwatches and like, all right, I'm next to Kalista, and then Kalista stopwatches. Who the hell do you kill?
Yeah, it's just very difficult as just single target damage and single target CC composition from FPX to really close out on these deals.
Oh no, here comes XX just getting the damage down on Crisp. He has to stopwatch. But at a good time, Cask gets used, but here comes a taunt. They're going to go straight in towards it. But XX actually lost a lot of HP, needs to use Redemption to keep up alive. But forces FPX away from the tower.
Zanya really being the MVP for XX. He's still playing like a frontline tank most of the time. That's actually his most comfortable champions. And you can tell that by the way he's playing this AP Gragas.
It's a bit of an armada coming down the mid lane. That's a lot of damage taking off that mid lane turret. They're going to look for the inhibitor to follow up. That's a lot of low HP targets. LokeN is low. And Ben is just looking to an engage, but I'm a little bit worried about this one. They might get the kill on Doinb, so he needs to back up and away, even with that Gargoyle's stone plate being used. Gives an opening for them to be able to pick up the inhibitor.
At this point, I just don't think you can deal with 369. He doesn't have any CC reduction anymore, but doesn't really need it. It's too difficult to kill Irelia with how much HP she actually now gets just from base stats now. The HP growth and armor growth is tremendous. Irelia in team fights and late games, I don't think this is a composition that's going to be able to deal with her in terms of damage, and she's just been dominating these fights. So LokeN can be low, Knight can be low, but FPX are not going to be willing to engage. The reset potential from someone like 369 is too deadly.
And I'm not the type to be fat shamed. Doinb is so large of a target here that the moment 369 in these large team fights end up throwing down his ultimate on top of him, LWX is going to get caught in the crossfires just on the hair of it, so the 90% slow is going to hit him. There's just so much to watch out for if you're a mid-ranged AD carry. He has a lot to deal with in these team fights.
I will say, however, TOP are pretty much disregarding Tian at this point. There is no cleanses coming in from any of their members. So if you do manage to find that cocoon, you can instantly take them out. There's nothing to stop you from doing it.
All right, already looking to just batter down the bottom lane. Have 4 members here. The 5th one is holding down that mid lane. Pushing up, it's going to be the Corki. It looks like he's cutting through the jungle there. They're going to have 5-man strong TOP, especially with package. Just who's going to be looking to jump straight through. Random stopwatch there from 369, so he doesn't get the opportunity to use it in a dive. Going to try and keep the health of the minion wave there with Redemption. Not going to be very helpful, but they have the next wave coming right up.
All right, all eyes on Tian.
It's a Ganon minion wave too. That's a lot of damage on the turret. Even charging up the taunt, Ben, just to push them right back. Doinb is going to be the target. Take a look at how much HP burns straight through him before he uses Gargoyle's Stone Plate. Already diving through 369. That was an easy 4 kill. Only GimGoon still alive here by FPX.
It was a little too easy for 369. The amount of damage, the burst potential.
Get him! Oh, that's easy now. You can just let you get. Oh, there we go. Corki nets the kill. TOP nets the game. And that's the first place spot in the LPL, now solidified by TOP.
Welcome your new owners of the league. TOP at this point, taking their first spot. This roster was very, very new. It's a rookie roster with only the addition of Knight onto the team. And honestly, we did not expect at this point to see them at the top of the standings. We knew they were good. We didn't know they were this good.
You're right about them being young, not a lot of, trying to figure out what the expectations are for this squad. Because for me, preseason rankings there, I thought that the old guard of the league would still be able to come out strong. You came in, you're like, man, I don't agree with that. Top 3 team, I don't think a lot of people had them as number 1. Going into week 8, TOP seemed to be the strongest team in the LPL, especially coming off of that win versus RNG. This was supposed to be their hardest set, hardest week. FPX, RNG, they come out victors of both.
And this is absolutely massive. Once again, it's highly likely that TOP and FPX will actually finish and tie in terms of match score, and it could tie in terms of the net wins as well.
Yep.
So getting that head-to-head makes sure that you're going to get side selection throughout the majority of the playoff tournament. It's absolutely massive for this team. We know how important side selection has been on multiple patches. You don't know what's going to happen next. So they really cementing themselves and giving themselves a chance to go towards MSI. You know, Knight has been a close friend to Chovy. This guy's been 1v1ing on that Korean solo ladder for a long time. He's booking his ticket early.
Oh my goodness, already making that call. That's fun to see. And remember in 2018 spring, that was when FPX got bumped out of playoffs by Team WE. Why? Because of point differential, head-to-head, all of that. That's what matters the most. And TOP just made that first stake in name with a huge win here up against FPX. And you can take a look at the goal difference. It was, in favor of FPX early on, but couldn't nail the advantage there from GimGoon. Couldn't find a pick on side lane. It was just so difficult for them.
Yeah, and the bans from TOP really made a lot of difference. They forced FPX, into one win condition, and that was siege and poke. They didn't have the engage. They couldn't find catches anywhere else on the map. So FPX, with their winning side lanes, they brought everything to mid, and they got wiped. And you can see that in the gold graph right there. That's one hell of a slide into TOP territory.
I think TOP, especially when it comes down to the Baron game, because FPX were conceding quite a few. But when it came down to that Baron, you're right. That's when the spike came right back up. TOP picking up multiple Baron fight wins. Those fights were so close, neck and neck. I think a lot of it just came down to the mechanics of the pure players. Stopwatch came into play a few times. TOP proving that not only is the strategy aspect of it down packed, but also within the fights, they have the mechanics of their individual players to come out ahead. So congratulations being able to pick up the series.
The synergy of this team is absolutely amazing to watch. And once again, they throw up another laning threat. This is the thing I was really worried about when I saw this TOP roster.
Yep.
I said, the first 5 series, they actually last pick different positions every single time. And I'm like, oh my god, how do you draft against this team? This team is so difficult to draft against. And now LokeN's showing you know what? My Kalista's good. I can actually play the Kalista no problem. FPX in game 2, that was a call from Warhorse. He said, you know what? He's only played one Kalista game. We're going to let it go. He probably won't play it. He's going to go on something teamfight oriented.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm just slam down that lane.
Let me priority pick that Kalista.
Third game, he does it again,
He made the call out that they would go for the Lucian pick regardless, because Lucian is just that large of a priority in the meta. So it's insane to be able to make that call out, win the lane again. Because this series started with Crisp coming in hot. So it was Crisp and LWX having such a large lead in game 1, and then seeing it all just getting taken away from them in game 2 and 3.
That's really scary to deal with. Suning, we'll stop calling them the super team. Suning. Put them down there underneath the desk.
Okay.
It'll
be used next time, hopefully.
Hopefully. But my new super team, TOP.
Okay,
they can win from every single lane. That's actually true.
Yes.
If you look from the drafting phase, it's more so true for TOP than it is for Suning Gaming. Their bot lane, their mid lane, but for TOP, Every single lane can carry. Every single lane is a legitimate threat at this point. And this time, LokeN's making an even stronger argument for that to be the case.
Yeah, and they are a team that can come back when in a deficit. Because for FPX, that was something we were praising them for. When they're put behind in a series, when they're put behind in a game, they could slow it down. But I could say the same thing for TOP, but also speak to the individuals. 369 was behind in lane.
Yeah.
He was doing pretty, like, he was in a risky position where he teleported back under tower. He could have easily gotten dived again.
Yes.
Like, those are moments where a player says, okay, don't worry about me, play to the opposite side of the map, and then I'm just going to, like, try and hold him up. But then he, later on in the game, solo killed him. Like, 369 had a pretty standout performance for a rookie this year. So if we're having conversations about rookie of the split, who do you got? I mean, I already put you on the spot, but I think it's pretty easy.
Oh, is it? Is it easy?
Easy.
Is it easy?
Easy.
All right, you have to walk me through all the rookies this split, because there's actually a lot of them, especially in the top side.
Look, I just realized whenever I put you on the spot, you're like, I want all that. I want it all out there.
But because that game, I actually felt 369. Throughout the entire series, 369 actually had a lot of mistakes. Especially in game 2, where he saw that Renekton, you know, he's like, I'll E into a wall. I guess I have to blow my ult now. I'm still dead.
You're such a mistake-focused person, all right?
I know, but I think he's still pretty rough, to be honest.
Okay,
I think
but
he's
like,
still
that's
pretty
the
rough.
whole stake for rookies. I think for a lot of people, you'll
yes.
look through rookies, and I think that across the board, you'll have your names out there. I think so far, the only ones that stand out to me would actually just be 369. I know.
All right, because I can't come up with another name. I can't debate you. So 369 it is. There you go. You win.
The laptop wins for me today. You can't touch me with my laptop. I even focused down the conversation. I didn't even bring you a second person. You can use the entirety of Sino Dragons, but I suppose like that wouldn't be easier for you.
I know. Like, there's a couple of candidates now that have got time to think about it. Xiaopeng, they actually took down TOP.
Yeah.
That's one. That's a
fair.
great jungler.
Okay.
I'd say Southwind
Meteor.
from Vici is actually good if they would win a couple more games, and I guess he would be higher. But I'm not sure if BLG members actually count as rookies at this point. Meteor?
Yes.
Yeah, Meteor's good.
All right,
I still give it a 369 then.
One person that cannot get that rookie of the split because he already played in spring, but he'll get something. He'll get MVP of the game. Goes tonight. My God, he was already leading the charts. Let me check how many MVPs this man got. 11! At this point in the split, he has 11 MVP, leads the rankings, and of course, 38% damage percentage on the Corki. That's another one.
That's really sick. I mean, the amount of damage is one thing he does, but how well he can hold the mid lane and actually come out ahead. Throughout that game, we were actually thinking, you know, Doinb is actually off to a great start. He's got that multiple kill lead in towards the top side. Maybe we're going to see another game where Knight really was shut down, but that never was the case. And I think that's why so many MVPs are going towards him. Not only the damage, but the fact that even if you have a bad early game, even if he's not snowballing, even if the enemy mid laner is big, he's still going to have that impact later on.
It's always impressive when it comes down to that because for FPX, their MVPs are split between both Tian and Doinb. Yeah. But for, you already mentioned it, like TOP is a team that have multiple carries across the board. You would expect the wealth to be shared amongst 369, XX, LokeN in some games because he's able to perform so handily. But Knight has just been balling. Like every game he comes in and he just puts the foot down and says that I'm the reason why we ended up winning this game. When he has the Zoe in particular take down mid lane turret, and he has like such phenomenal damage percentages because he's able to get those like the type of plays that have people like spamming in chat, like the lull on top of that one, the Zoe nonsense. And he is a player that you tend to despise if you're watching out there and if you sympathize for the enemy mid lane who's just getting pounded. so like I think he's having such a great split so far. Yeah. And a loss to Suning. But a big gain for TOP.
I actually just hands down think Knight's the best LPL mid laner right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think Rookie's been having some problems.
A very downtrodden split for him. Not a lot of good performances from Rookie.
For him, I would still put him top 3 easily. But like the past 3 splits, he's been #1 handily, and now Knight's been able to take that away from him.
So I really want to see what Knight can do. Like the team still wants to fight against experienced squads. They've done it against FPX, and they've done it against RNG right now. The only team they haven't really taken down is IG because they had to face him at the start of the split. And that's a big one I want to see for playoffs.
I wanted to talk about that one because that's going to be our next series. It's going to be Invictus Gaming versus WE as our second series of the day.